Good morning. I'm live from Dr. Mom. I am doing a series. This is a series on bodybuilding. So I am 59 and I've always been active. I've always lifted weights. Always been, oh goodness, when I was in high school, I did a lot of basketball. I love sports. I love racquetball. Excuse me. I'm trying to keep my kitty from going in here. I have been doing 100 videos in 100 days on my Facebook page, and part of it, and which I'm done with. So I'm moving over here to YouTube now because I love what I'm doing. I'm going to try not to interject my humor in too much, but it's part of me. So this is my series on bodybuilding. I've got a lot to go. Like I have to get equipment, those kinds of things. But so what I'm doing is I'm doing a series on bodybuilding because I'm 59. I've been, like I said, I've been working out my whole life, but about 5 years ago or so, my husband passed away, and it was a lot of stress involved in the whole situation before he passed. And so I found myself about 57 pounds overweight, and he was sick, so I had been staying home with him. And most of my adult life, I have struggled with keeping my weight down. Although I worked out all the time, I wasn't in great shape. And one of my dreams was always to go to a bodybuilding competition. And so after my husband passed away, and I'm going to be doing a series on moving forward with Dr. Mom. And I'll kind of explain more of my credentials on there, sort of my journey to my doctor program and those kinds of things. I'm going to do that on Tuesday. This is my series on bodybuilding, however, and so I thought I'd start it today. So, it's a whole journey, right? So after my husband did pass away, I went through a lot of, I was still under a lot of stress, but I did start back at the gym right away. My problem has always been not working out, because I love working out. I'm one of the fortunate ones that I love sports, especially competitive. And so I've always went to the gym, but I've never been able to control my weight. And I always, that up and down yo-yo. When I was younger, in my 20s, I did a lot of starvation dieting. I had a lot of body image things that I had to work through. So it's been a long journey, and I want to help others, because I am finally at a place at 59 where I am not worried about gaining weight back, and I want to share my journey with others. So that's why I'm on here. And that's also, I'm just at a good place to do a bodybuilding competition. So, I don't know how my body's going to react. So far, I've had a really good response. So it's been about 5 years. I've been lifting on my own. I started out with, my kitty wants to get right in front of the screen. She doesn't like sharing me with other people. So I started out going to the gym. I was going through grief at the time. So I wasn't able to really, that's a whole other, I'll be doing that on my program too, sort of sharing the grief process with everyone, which was part of my dissertation for my doctorate degree. But so I was in the grief. For the first year, you're kind of in shock. So, I would go to the gym, and I started out with going to classes. So it's Gold's Gym. They have where you can do aerobic classes and bodybuilding training for 5 days a week, 5 or 6 days a week. And so I was really I was 57 pounds overweight. I just needed someone to guide me because like I said, I was going through a lot of turmoil at the time, a lot of grief, shock. So I just started going to classes. I let them lead me. It was an hour a day. And then I also I started with paleo. My interpretation, I'm not an expert on it. I need to get better at it. But I just ate a lot of meats. So a lot of meats. I believe low carb. I got off the breads and things like that. I didn't do as many vegetables, but I started out with paleo. So I did that for a couple years. I got about 27 pounds off or so. I started feeling better, I kept going to classes for that long. But then after a couple years, and it was just about a year ago, actually, I started lifting on my own because I was pretty good at it. I wasn't worried about, getting into the weights. I kind of knew what I was doing. So I started out with 3 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's common. Lifting weights. I did Monday chest, I believe, back. Wednesday legs, and then Friday biceps, triceps. I don't know. I don't know how I knew to do that. I just did. Whether it was good or bad, I just did it, right? And so I started doing that. I was doing really well, but I still needed to lose quite a bit of body fat. And I've always had a problem with body fat, getting it off, And I thought it was me, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And then I do the yo-yo thing. And I know it's I don't know, it's difficult figuring it out, right? And everybody's body is different. So I found Code Red. So Code Red, and her name's Christy Nichols. Fabulous. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up a minute. I actually went to my son who lifts weights and things turned me on to keto. So I did keto for a year before that. So I did keto. What I really loved was the numbers part. So you can test your keto levels. I loved it because I could tell if my body was responding to it. So I'm not the expert on keto either, but I sort of did what I call a loose keto because I started doing, I didn't have my macros exact, but I just knew that to stay about 20% carbs, 20-30% protein, and then the fat was the big thing. And at first I studied this doctor on it, and he's like, just eat till you're full. Eat all the fat you want till you're full. So I kind of started out that way. And I loved the cheese taco shells. That was one of my favorite things. And so I did that for about a year, but I didn't really lose any more weight. I felt really good though. And I knew that I was in ketosis, right? But I was at a low number. So if you know anything about when you're testing your ketones, I was at about a 0.5. Maybe I got to 1.2, and I kept, asking my son, do I need to be higher? Because everything I studied was higher. And anyway, so I did that for about a year. I felt good. I understood keto. I eliminated a lot of things like breads was gone, pastas, things like that. But then I found Code Red. So Christy Nichols, wonderful program, a huge community. And so I started listening to her. She's got a 30-day challenge. I got more interested. I liked what they had to say. So I paid for her to write me a program. So, and it's worth every penny. I mean, it is so worth it. So she wrote me a program. One thing, the reason that that helped me a lot is because I was still somewhat in denial, I believe, as far as my weight went, because I felt pretty good. I could work out well, but I was still holding on to a lot of weight. And so I signed up for the program. I finally understood this is sort of the calorie level. These are the macros. The huge thing was the water. So my program, and I needed to lose, I still have not reached goal. I needed to lose, I think she had me at like 60 pounds, 150 ounces of water a day. And that was a lot for me because I wasn't a big water drinker. It was so difficult. So I got on her plan. I started losing really well. So now I'm down another 35 pounds. I feel great. You know, things are coming along. And then when I got to this weight, I kind of stalled. She had me another 35 pounds down. I'm 162 right now. I feel good. I can work out well. But I still would like to reach that goal. So what I'm doing now is I decided, hey, maybe I have found a way to keep my body fat off. So now I decided I want to do a bodybuilding competition. So that's where I'm at right now. I want to share this with others because if I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm 59. Okay, I'm just about to be 60. And honestly, I can't believe it. I feel 29, right? And when my husband first passed away, it's hard. It's hard. But I was sort of I was sort of scared. Okay, I was afraid. I was afraid. I'm in my 50s. Um, and when you go through something like that, it's kind of a odd process because you're really you have this big hole inside of you where you're significant. We were married 30 years, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to fill that. It was grief. I had never been alone my whole adult life, right? Out of high school, I had boyfriends all the time, and then I got married, and so it was this huge hole inside of me. So I had to learn to get through that whole process, right, without filling it with negative things. So, gosh, I don't know why I went there, but I'm going to get back to bodybuilding. What I'm doing now is I want to do a competition. And so the first thing I did was contact a trainer. And he has written me programs for bodybuilding for the lifting part of it and programs for the food part of it, which at first scared me a little bit because I'm used to keto now, right? Remember that. So you get this, and it worked for me like nothing had ever done before. And so I'm on this journey and I'm afraid, I don't know. I told you it's been a struggle with my weight my whole life. And so I'm like, if I do change and so he wrote me a program where I'm adding supplements in, I'm adding carbs in, I'm adding more protein, and I'm reducing fat. So the biggest reason keto worked for me is because my fat that I was eating kept me full. And I hadn't been doing fat for my whole adult life because they told us not to, remember? And that's a whole other story, right? Okay, so it took me a while. I've been on the program for about 3 weeks. The first two, I kind of fought what he wrote me. And then I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? This is not too far away from what I'm used to. So I've been on it now. I'm following it. 1 cup of oatmeal in the morning, 3 egg whites, and 1 whole egg. And I like to eat those together. I know it sounds weird, but I like the oatmeal with the eggs. And then I usually throw some onions and things in, flavoring, some veggies. That's completely fills me up. And by the end of my gym time, so let's back up. I go to the gym at, now it's early, but I go at 4:30 in the morning. I'm a morning person. There's not as many people there then. You can get on the machines in and out. So, I am back from the gym. At the gym, and I'm still drinking 150 ounces of water. And what I found is it keeps me concentrating. Drinking the water, which took me a long time to get used to, keeps me away from thinking about the food. So, and it fills you up. So I've been doing that for almost a year now. And so my routine is 40 ounces of water at the gym. I put supplements in it, BCAAs. And let's see, I think it's creatine. Or glutamine. So I put a scoop each in of those there, and I'm studying all this because I don't know it. Help you build muscle. So I have that when I go to gym. It also gives you energy, so I'm pretty wired by then. So 40 ounces then, 40 ounces before noon, and then another 40 ounces before 5. And then I have some other things at night to make up the rest of the amount I need, right? So the oatmeal and eggs I have, and then he's got me having a piece of string cheese. I do that around 10, half an apple. I'm not used to eating apples because of the carbs. So I forgot to buy them. I have a few berries. Berries is on keto too, so I have that. And then at noon, usually, so he's got me on a staggered diet, 1,000 calories, 1,200, and then 14. So at noon, usually 2 or 3 ounces of chicken, which I'll do in my air fryer, and a salad, some veggies. I've gotten really used to veggies. I love them now. So some of my favorites are Brussels sprouts. I love spaghetti squash, but those are considered heavier carbs. So he wants you to do more of the free carbs. So I'm doing Brussels sprouts are good. I did get some asparagus, lots of salads, right? And then at night, I think another 3 ounces of chicken. That's the first day. Second day at night, you have same kind of thing. You have a pork chop, which I put in. I love pork chops, but I'm not used to eating them. So I'll just have that. Lots of veggies. And then the third day is a burger, 5-ounce burger, which I find is a treat. And then he wants me to use gluten-free bread, but I have Outer Aisle pizza thin, or sandwich thins they're called. Wonderful. So I substituted that in. So far, I have gotten a little bit more hungry because I think I switched over to glucose is running. I need to test my ketone level because I bet you I'm not in ketosis anymore. I can kind of tell as well because you have sort of your breath is a little bit different. But I became more hungry both at night and in the morning after I switched over, but I seem to be adjusting. I'm also taking a protein, D vitamin, B2, K2, I think a B vitamin, and magnesium, which is wonderful. So, and then protein and real carbs. And I mix that in my second thing of water. So I was a little worried that I was going to start gaining weight, but so far I'm staying down. So I've been monitoring that. I have quite a bit of energy in the mornings, and I go to bed usually about 8:30 at night, and I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. So I get lots of sleep, and that's something I'll talk about on another maybe next week. I've been studying Dr. Andrew. I think I always say it, Huberman. It's Huberman, I believe his name is. Um, Fantastic, excellent podcast if you get a chance. It's about the brain and how the brain works. Sleep is everything. And Christy, Code Red, talks about sleep. Sleep is one of the main things. Water, weighing every morning, dry weight, which means get up, strip down naked, jump on the scale, and keep your weight. And I used to hate weighing on the scale. I hated it. I don't know if you're like me, but growing up, like the scale was my enemy. Not anymore. I can't wait to get on the scale because I use it as a tool now. So now I'm able to see, okay, did what I ate make me gain weight? Is the supplements making me gain weight? At this stage of the bodybuilding, I don't want to lose a lot of weight. I want to build muscle. So I'm trying not to think too much about losing weight because I still, so when we did my body fat measurement, I was at 26%. For competition, I need to be about 12, if that tells you anything. And then I need to be down probably 25, 30 more pounds. But we don't want to work on that right now. I guess as you get closer to competition is when you really get strict about that and drop the rest of your weight. And body fat. It's more about body fat, right? So I did on one of my videos on here, and that's when I was in Facebook Live, I did do a bikini shot, which was quite scary, but I'm challenging myself. I feel like if it really scares the bejeebers out of me, then do it. And so I did do that. It was scary, but, and it's on here on one of my videos. So I also took other shots. Before pictures are everything, so do it. Even if it scares you, you don't have to put it live. I'm doing that because I want to help others. I'm in a place in my life that I want to help some other people because I've been through a lot. And so not sure where I was going with that either, but let's see. Okay, so I told you that I was pretty good with working out on my own. Now, when he wrote my program, besides the weight part of it, he also changed the way that I was working out. So instead of 5 days a week, 3 days of lifting weights, I am now at 6 days, 5 days lifting weights, 1 day on Saturday, 60-minute treadmill workout, which I was doing that 2 of my other days before. But the way I'm lifting has changed completely. So like my food plan, I had to trust my trainer completely. I had to just say, no, you've got to just, and it took me 2 weeks again. Like, you know how you get in your routine and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get away. It's easy. I get in the gym. I know the machines I'm on. But I was working out 2 hours. I'd go at 4:30 and leave at 6:30. Now I'm down to a quick hour. Now I do a lot of stretching before I leave because, first of all, I was into CrossFit. It's been about 4 or 5 years. My son again turned me on to it, and I loved it because I'm competitive, right? But I was overweight. I was pretty overweight then, but I was doing it, I think I was around 50 then. And I was staying up with the young people, so I'm like, yay, I'm doing well. But you lift a lot of overhead. and I've always been pretty strong. I must have been lifting too much. My back started aching. I had the sciatic nerve thing, and I didn't listen to it. So one day I went in, was lifting over my head. I did some running. The next day, I couldn't move. I couldn't straighten out. I had the worst pain, not even, no, worse than childbirth that I ever felt in my whole entire life. I couldn't move. Um, I had to go home. I could hardly drive home. And then the pain kept getting worse. I was screaming in pain. It was horrible. So it was during spring break in our hometown, and all the doctors were gone, so I couldn't even get in to see what was wrong. I had to wait. I think I had to wait a week, or I can't remember, but I was screaming so bad in pain. I should have went to the hospital, emergency room, but I don't know. I grew up with this attitude that you don't go to the emergency room. So I finally got in. They took an MRI, found out that I blew a disc pretty badly, kind of like spread all over. They gave me hydrocodone, I believe. I'm not in. Ooh, I don't take. I can't take drugs very much. Like, I can't handle too many very powerful ones. So I didn't want to take the opioid Percocet, I think it is. I didn't want to be sick. So I fought taking that, but I was screaming. I wasn't sleeping. I had to lay flat on my bed with my feet in the air on sort of these pillows. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I had to use sort of I had one of those big balls. It was horrible. Long story short, I got through that. Had surgery. It was my left leg was the weird thing, and I had a lot of pain in my left leg, and it sort of felt like it was paralyzed, not paralyzed, numb. So I'm like, give me the surgery. Went through surgery. After that, I learned to stretch because I couldn't. It took about 5 years to get my back in where I could do something. Um, and so I do a lot. Long story short, I do a lot of stretching. I also like to roll on those rollers because I carry a lot of stress on my shoulders, and it helps me because I can't afford massages right now. So it rolls out those lumps, you get right there. So it takes me, in other words, it takes me about an hour now. And I had to get used to, so he works different body parts at different times. And I used to do a lot of lifting where I would do, upper body 17. So let's see, I'm going to try to say 17 reps. I think it's sets and then reps, I think. So I would do, 3 sets, 17 reps, it kind of hold them. Now, with what he's got me on, I do 6 sets, 10 reps each, and then you build your way up, pyramid, build your way up to a heavier weight and then back down again. So it's taken me a while to get used to some of the training, but this is my second week that I'm doing well. And so I think my next step is to meet with him again. So he will write me a different program in another week. I told him it took me a while to get used to it. So after next week, I'll meet with him again, and then he'll set me up on some different exercises depending on how my body fat's changed, right? And how I'm doing that way. And then different training exercises. But I started thinking this morning, I was thinking about doing a show in May, but it's getting pretty close. And let's say if you have 12 weeks to really get down, we're cutting into that right now. So I'm thinking in the summer, June or July. But I also know me. And so I've decided when I meet with him, I'm going to go ahead and find a competition because I need to have a goal date. I'm just like that. I have to always have goals that I attain. So that my dopamine kicks in. So what I'm learning from Dr. Huberman is dopamine in athletes, well, anybody, high performing person, has ways of rewarding themselves along the way instead of waiting until the final end. And it keeps you moving towards your goal, right? So that's what I'm learning, and I love it. So I will set up, and this is just one of my goals. I have lots of them. This is my series on bodybuilding. Next week, I'll do one on Tuesday. That'll be my professional one on moving forward. I'm going to be doing a challenge in Facebook, helping others to move forward. And then the second one on Wednesday will be on my renovation project that I'm doing myself. And so I hope you'll tune in, subscribe, like. I'm going to be doing this as a profession, so provide feedback. Would you like to talk about something? Can I share with you anything I'm doing to help someone else? I think I'm doing pretty good. I think a lot of it is, you're thinking, "Ooh, I'm going to have loose skin." I mean, I think it's pretty good, for my age, right? And all in all, like I'm doing fairly well. I've got some to lose here, some to lose here and here, but I'll tell you, he's working a lot with me, and right here, yeah. But he's working a lot with me on the booty part because if you've ever watched those girls in competition, when they turn around, oh my goodness, they've got the best, tightest buttocks, right? And it looks beautiful. So how's, my age, how is it gonna work? But I have seen, is it gonna tighten up enough? And I'm thinking probably if I lose, 14 more % body fat, and if I lose 25 more pounds, it should tighten up pretty nicely. So I have seen, oh my goodness, an 80-year-old bodybuilder. I've seen a lot of 50-year-olds. I've seen 60-year-olds. I can do this. So anyway, that's my journey. That's why I'm on here. I hope you will subscribe and follow me. I hope you will ask questions. I want to help everyone I can. Even, I went through a lot of food addictions, self-image problems, you name it. And so that's why. So I got also my home remodel project. I love doing stuff. So I want to share that with you. I do have some videos on here, but I have done flooring. I'm in the middle now of, I just got cabinets in, so I'm redoing my kitchen. So I'll be filming that. As I go along, I'll go ahead and put that on, and I've learned how to use power tools. I have a laser level I'm going to set up in the kitchen to set my son and daughter-in-law are coming over on Saturday because cabinets are heavy. And so they're going to help me put those up. And then I think I can do the lower ones myself. And then I will finish the flooring in there. My flooring is just beautiful. It's a life-proof plank flooring, beautiful colors, very, very modern. So anyway, so that's probably all I have today. I hope you will subscribe and like and follow me, and please ask questions. I'd love to so I'd really like to start interviewing. I have to do a lot of work. Like I have to get, sometimes my videos have been cut off on Facebook. I need to start learning how to edit videos. I have a lot to do to build my program, but I just want to help other people. So, okay, that's all I have for today. Love you and tune in. Bye.